Hello, everyone. Welcome to another The Student World Live taking place this beautiful Sunday here, the May 18. My name is Carlos Branchetti, your host again for the evening. And today I'm very happy because it is the first episode of the brand new show that we're introducing to y'all today, the Student World Spotlight. As the name suggests, on these kind of lives that will take place from now on every Tuesday at this exact same time, we will put on the spotlight a different university or a student destination. And we're going to show you all different sides of it so you can explore in a whole new level and you can see if that institution matches you. So today, folks, we're going to be bringing Columbia University. Yeah, did you know that Columbia University is ranked among the top 20 best universities in the world? That is right. They are a big, big, big name in the US. They are located in the diverse and amazing city, New York, in the US. I think you've heard of it already. The concrete jungle, as Alicia Keys would put in its song. But anyway, we're very happy, folks, to be bringing Columbia University today. They will be talking about a very important program they're offering, which are the pre-college programs. That is right. Although we will be talking with the university, we'll be talking about programs that are designed for you that are still on finishing your high school. And maybe you don't know yet what you want to do for college, for university, what program you want to study, right? And actually, let's think a little bit about this because choosing what to do for university is a big decision. I've been there. You're probably going through this right now. There's a lot of pressure. Oh, where do you want to study? Where do you want to go? What program, what major you want to focus? All that. And sometimes we're forced to take this decision. And then we find ourselves doing like a 1 year or 2 year bachelor's in something that we actually don't like. Right? I've had tons of people, I know tons of people that found themselves in that position. But what if there was a way that we could try out something before we actually commit for those long 4 years? Well, Columbia University will be bringing something like that to you guys today. The pre-college programs for high school students just like you. Yeah, an idea and a possibility, for you to try it out some things and see what you really like. But before we start, let's play a quick video so you can get a little bit familiar with these pre-college that we'll be talking about today.
So good morning and hello everybody.
Hi.
Right? I can see a lot of smiles. So what we're going to be talking about today is consumer behavior.
It's cool, right? Could you see yourself already going on those beautiful campus of Columbia University? I could see it. But anyway, folks, to move on today's live, we'll be starting with bringing some very important people from Columbia University. They're going to be giving you all the details about those pre-college programs that I've mentioned. Right? We're going to start with a quick overview of the university, of these programs, show you guys some slides, and then we're going to move on to some interviews with them. And then we're going to move on for the questions as well. So if you do have questions, guys, please shoot them in our chat here. If you're watching from YouTube or Facebook, that's okay. You can send your questions. Don't let us be here for an hour just talking and talking and talking. Let's interact, right? We want to make sure that you get the most out of this life And that's it. And again, if you like what you're seeing, please make sure that you leave your like. So don't forget to like this video, as I always say. If you don't like what you're seeing, put your dislike there, thumbs down. It's okay. It's good for us to know if we're in the right track, because our goal here at the Student World is to help you carry on your study abroad plans, right? So we really love if you could leave your feedback at the end and send your questions, okay? All right, so without further ado, let me invite now the very first guest, which is Anita, coming from the Columbia University. She's an admission officer. Welcome, Anita. How are you doing?
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm so pleased to be here and introduce everyone to our pre-college programs.
Yeah, I got excited as well just hearing more about these amazing kids. I'll tell you something. When I first when I finished my high school, I was completely lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do for university, and if I could have done this, if I could engage in these kind of pre-college programs, it would have made my choice way easier and way more assertive. So I am for sure looking forward to hear more about this, and as well as our audience here is. So please carry on this super interesting overview, and then we're going to move on to some very nice questions.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to share my screen so everybody sit tight, and we're going to start our presentation. Give me just 1 second here. Okay, so here we are. Let's get started. I want to take this opportunity to introduce you to our entire admissions team. So I'm Anita Weiss. You can see me there on the end as well as live in person. Joining me today are Laura Fields and Naomi DeJoie and Carrie Gleason, but you're going to hear more from them later, but they're also part of our team. So let's begin. On this slide, you'll see an overview of today's session. We're going to start with an overview of the program as a whole and then move into just some slightly more detailed items. So now an overview. As you know, Columbia University is an Ivy League university. You will see that we have a beautiful neoclassical campus located on Manhattan's Upper West Side. Columbia is a top 10 global university comprised of 20 schools, over 200 institutes and research centers. We employ over 4,000 full-time faculty members. Our student body includes over 32,000 students from 153 countries, and our alumni include 84 Nobel Prize winners. So now let's talk a little bit about the goals of our high school program. This is an opportunity for you to challenge yourself with Ivy League level academics, study with passionate instructors and accomplished peers from around the world. Our program emphasizes participation and critical thinking in a rigorous academic setting. You'll have a chance to make friends with outstanding students globally. Nearly 40% of our participants join us virtually from all over the world. You'll be able to expand your learning outside of the classroom. We have numerous extracurricular options, which we'll go over a little bit later. You're going to be able to gain skills and knowledge to better prepare yourself for college and academics. So I'm going to pipe in and say that just like Carlos, when I got to college, I bounced around quite a bit. I actually changed majors 3 times. So it would have been really nice to have had a little better understanding of what I wanted to do eventually. And finally, you're going to earn a Columbia University certification of participation and a personalized evaluation letter. So now let's talk specifically about our summer immersion programs, which are actually coming up this summer, so hot and fast. What is summer immersion? Well, you have 2 options. We have 3-week and 1-week options, but you will be taking 1 intensive course for the entire session. So 1 course for either 3 weeks or 1 week. This summer, our modality is only going to be online, but next summer, we hope to return to all of our modalities, which will be online, commuter, and residential. So literally something for everyone. As I said before, you're going to earn a certification of participation and a letter of evaluation, but these classes are not graded and they're not for credit. You're going to have over 90 options to choose from, though, and these courses are designed for high school students in grades 9 through 12, and with 90 options, there is something for everyone. And our coursework is going to be supplemented with numerous extracurricular activities, so the courses are not the only thing that we have to offer. There's actually a lot more to this program in addition. Finally, you'll be able to gain skills and knowledge to better prepare you for life and academics. So as you can see here, you're going to have 2 different schedules to choose from. We have a 9 a.m. to 11 and 1 to 3 and 11 to 1 and 3 to 5. So you'll notice you're actually going to be in class for 4 hours. Some studio arts courses have slightly different timings. So our 3-week program, you'll be meeting for 60 hours total. For the 1-week program, you'll be meeting for 20 hours total. But you'll notice there's a 2-hour break in between those class time sessions. And that's going to be a chance for you to have lunch and also do some of those co-curricular activities that I keep talking about. But don't worry, it doesn't matter which schedule you have. Those co-curricular activities are presented multiple times, so you'll be able to meet to sign up for one of them no matter which session you're doing or which class time you've got. Now let's talk about the academic year immersion program. So this is very similar to the summer immersion program. So I'm just going to highlight some of the differences. During the summer immersion program, you're taking classes during the week, Monday through Friday, but in the academic year program, it's on the weekends. And so it's 10 consecutive weeks of programming. In summer immersion, you only take one course, but academic year immersion, you can register for 1 to 4 courses, but we don't recommend 4 because this is actually a very rigorous program. So we suggest 1 to 3. Our modality for this fall will be online in the future. It'll be online and commuter, but not residential. You have a choice of 40 different curricular options. These are also for 9th through 12th graders. And again, you're also going to have those extracurricular opportunities. So now let's quickly look over the fall schedule. As I said, you're going to be able to take 4 classes, and that's because we offer the courses either Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. Starting this fall, we're going to have some Saturday evening classes. Please note that all of the class times that we are showing you are New York times, which is where we're located. So just be mindful of those time zone differences that you might have. And now let's talk a little bit about student life. So we have 4 different tracks, but we have numerous options within each of those tracks. So the first one is Leadership in a Diverse World. These are seminars and workshops that have students considering real-world issues. The next one is Preparing for College. There's actually quite a bit in this one also. So these are seminars and workshops focused on the college application process, but also on how to get the most out of your college experience once you're there. Next is Career Skills and Exploration. And then finally, we have Cross-Culture Community Building. In addition to the extracurricular activities, we also have these co-curricular activities. And these are, while the extracurricular activities are more academically focused, these student life activities are more socially focused and present an opportunity for you to get to know other immersion students who aren't in your class, but with whom you might have a shared interest. So these can include Digital Storytelling Lab, our numerous clubs and activities, and opportunities for community outreach. And so now we're sliding into the end. This is our cost, dates, and logistics. So as I said, our session 1 application deadline is coming up. That's May 19th. Session 1 is June 28th to July 16th. Session 2 is from July 20th to August 6th, with an application deadline of June 16th. And then August 3rd, our third session is August 9th through August 13th, with an application deadline of July 15th. Our costs for the summer immersion program this summer, there's an $80 application fee, but for those of you who are here, we're actually going to give you a waiver code, which will tell you how to avoid paying that $80 application fee. So that would not apply to you. Our 3-week program costs $4,490. Our 1-week program costs $1,976. Some courses may have an additional cost for specific textbooks or other materials. And just so you know, as I said, in summer 2022, we're going to be offering commuter and residential programs. And so the program costs will vary depending on that modality. For academic year immersion, we don't have those costs yet, but the application is going to be opening this week. The fall dates are September 18th through November 20th. The application deadline is August 15th. Just be mindful of this deadline, as well as some of the summer immersion deadlines, that as school is letting out, you might have a hard time getting a hold of those transcripts or letters of recommendation. So keep that in mind and don't just look at the application deadline without thinking about how you're going to get those materials into us. So similarly with summer immersion, the application fee is $80. Our program costs, like I said, are going to be up on the website later in June. And there's also going to be possible other fees for specific classes like textbooks and other materials. And that brings us to the end of my portion. I was telling you that we were going to give you that fee waiver code, and you'll see it right there on the screen. It's HSP Global. You're going to enter that on the Program of Study page. So just be mindful of that. That's a page in our application that's towards the beginning of the application, not the end of the application. So just be aware of that. And you'll also see that I've got our email address up there, but we'll give that to you again later, as well as our website. So thanks for paying attention, and we'll hand it back over to Carlos now.
Wow, it was a great overview. Thanks, Anita. Thanks so much. And you ended up like giving all the spoil. I was gonna give the spoil alert, guys. All that I was gonna say, like, what are you guys gonna do with that $80 that you're now about to save, right? But anyway, you already sent the code. That's okay. We will show the code again at the end of this live. Okay, so you can, and by the way, you can share here in the chat with us what you're gonna do with those $80 that you're gonna save using this application fee waiver code. Okay, tell us here. And all right, so moving on, Anita. By the way, we have some people already sending some questions here about the application process. Kenya, Joy, we will get to the application process more more deeply by the end of the live. So hang in there, right? And as Anita pointed out, use that code to waive your application fee. Okay, so thanks for joining, Kenya and Joy. Keep there and stay tuned. And let's move on, Anita. Let's go now. Let me bring actually someone else to join us. Me and you here. Let's bring Carrie Gleason. Carrie, come on in.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. How are you doing there? Oops, Carrie left, and there she is.
I'm back.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. You are, as I have here, part of the pre-college stuff, right? Pre-college program stuff. Cool.
Yep, that's correct.
All right. Can you tell me a little bit more? What is your role then?
Sure. So I'm currently a program coordinator for the high school programs. So I work a lot with the hiring of our instructors, kind of the operation side of things. So.
Great. And where are you? You're based in New York as well.
Yes, I live on Long Island. Yep.
Oh, nice, cool. So let's. Anita did a pretty good job doing like the whole overview of the program. So I actually wanted to dive in because many of the questions that are starting to pop up in the chat are about the programs, right? So the first thing I wanted to ask you, Carrie, is like, how are the programs classes different from the classes that students are actually taking right now in their high schools?
Sure. So as Anita mentioned, this program is extremely immersive and an intensive courses, just because it does take place in shorter periods of time, 1 week, 3 week, over the weekends. So students can expect a really immersive and intensive experience. They're not meant to master the material, but more just meant to connect with fellow students, the instructors, and just try and engage with the material. So it's definitely a great program. We offer a lot of different classes that they might not be able to take in their own high schools. So I think that's a really cool feature about it.
Cool. All right. And so let me ask you something. Anita, do you want to stay here with us, or you want to go and be back, or what do you prefer?
You can send me backstage and pull me out if you need me.
All right, so we'll send Anita backstage, but she will be right back with us. Thanks. Okay, Carrie. So yeah, actually, Carrie and I do have another question here. So how does the program encourage students to interact with each other in this virtual reality, right?
Yep. So that's a huge thing that we were working on a lot last summer. going virtual was definitely something that probably a lot of people were nervous about. So we wanted to make sure that students felt that they were still getting an immersive experience in relation to the in-person program. So I'm assuming that a lot of students are probably very familiar with Canvas and Zoom. Most likely they've been using that the past year. So those are the programs that we also use. So they've got great features where you can email with fellow students, you can be in breakout rooms with other students, and as Anita mentioned, we also have a lot of community outreach programs and just all of those types of things that allow students to engage with each other outside of classroom as well as inside the classroom.
Cool, awesome. Will the next one, the upcoming programs, be the first time you guys hosted it like virtually, or?
So summer 2020 was our first virtual year, and we're going to be obviously online again this summer. So it was definitely a learning curve, but I'm very confident that this summer will be even better than last.
Yeah, and we're gonna play some testimonials quite soon here from some students that has joined the programs already. What was the general feedback? I mean, was it a positive experience from them, even though it was virtual and all?
Absolutely. So we actually do send out evaluations, and we heard great feedback from all of the students. I think everyone was kind of on the same page with the nervousness about how are we going to do this, transport an in-person program to be online. And I think the feedback we got was absolutely great. And we were just overall really overjoyed with what we were able to do with the program.
Cool. For everybody that is in high school nowadays, there is a word that can be quite scary, which is usually homeworks, right? What does the homework component of this program look like?
Sure. So hopefully it's not super scary, but it does vary by class and by instructor. But students could expect about 1 to 2 hours of homework each night, dependent upon what they learned that day. So it shouldn't be anything scary. It's just going to be covering what you learned in class. We don't have any grades, so don't get scared about that. And hopefully it's all just learning and fun.
Cool. And again, one of the cool things about these programs, the pre-college programs, is that it allows students to have a little bit of a taste, right? They experience what's coming up in case they decide to enroll in a major bachelor's degree in Columbia itself. What can you tell me a little bit about the relationship that they will have with their instructors, and who are those instructors?
Absolutely. So students can expect an immersive and collaborative experience. The instructor is basically there to guide them, and we really want to hear the students' inputs, their opinions, what they think. We really want them to be involved heavily in the learning process. So like I said, that instructor is there to just guide them, and they're kind of just excited to have the students learn and just be part of the class. And instructors we have instructors coming from all different universities. Some of them are Columbia instructors. So we definitely have a wide variety, and students can even go on our website and read bios about our instructors in case they're interested in where their particular instructor is coming from.
Nice. And so you mentioned, and actually Anita did the overview of the programs, and she mentioned the summer programs being 1 week, 3-week programs, if I'm not mistaken. And can you tell me a little bit of the difference between those two first?
Absolutely. So the 1 week and 3 week are very, very similar. Basically, one is obviously 3 weeks long, one is 1 week. So as Anita said, the 3-week program is a culmination of about 60 hours, while the 1 week is about 20 hours. We do offer different classes in each, but functionally, they're very, very similar. We offer very similar courses and different student activities for each of them.
Cool. And the academic year, what would be like the main difference?
Yep. So also very similar to the 1 week and 3 week, the academic year does take place on the weekends over a 10-week period. So it's a little bit of a different schedule, but again, we're offering very similar classes and student life activities as well for that academic year program.
Cool. All right. So again, most of our audience that is watching us right now, they're still finishing their high schools, right? And some people, as you probably have an idea, but that the kind of content and education we get going to a high school in Brazil is different than going to a high school in India and in some countries in Africa and so on, right? So some student might ask themselves, do they actually need to have any prior knowledge or something specific to be able to do this, to engage in these pre-college programs?
So a lot of our classes don't require any special skills or any previous knowledge. That's one of the great things about our programs, is that they're very inclusive to all learning abilities. There are a few classes that do require prerequisites, and you can find that information on our website. If you go to our courses page, you can see all of the classes that require prerequisites if you just click on whichever subject you're interested in.
Yeah, so just one quick thing, because there are lots of questions coming up regarding the application code that we mentioned here, guys. That, as you know, to apply to any program, usually you are required to pay an application fee, right? This code will allow you to waive that fee, which means that you won't have to pay that fee, which is $80, if I'm not mistaken, right, Carrie? Yeah. So that is it. And that if you want to know the website exactly, the exact link and all that, I'm gonna ask our team to put it down here on the chat for you. But again, by the end of the live, we're gonna give you more details on that, right? And yeah, so thanks again for lots of questions coming up here, Carrie. But yeah, one question just came up here. Is this program exclusively for people in the final year of their high school, or if they are in, I don't know, grade 11 or grade 10? I don't know how you.
Yep. So we take students who are going into high school. So if they're in 8th grade and onwards, so that's what the program is encompassing of rising 9th graders up till 12th grade.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, you heard, guys. There was a question coming from Suja, I think. Yeah, so Suja, there you go. All right, Carrie. So now let me bring another colleague of yours, Naima, to talk a little bit about the student life. Because folks, as you know, you're not going to be spending all the hours, all the days inside the classroom. You will be exploring some other things. And to talk about this, we have Naima here today. How are you, Naima?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. My pleasure. So, Naima, as I asked Karen, can you tell a little bit about your role there at Columbia University?
Yeah, I actually work with the master's programs as an admission specialist, but I used to be an intern for the high school programs.
Cool. And you're also based in New York as well.
Yeah, I'm in Brooklyn.
Oh, nice. Long Island, Brooklyn. Can't complain, guys. All right. So let's move on about and talk a little bit about the student life, right? The first question I have here is, how does the student life differ between residential students, day students, and online students?
Sure. So I would say the biggest difference is between the residential students and then the online and the day students, primarily because the residential students are there for way more hours than commuters and the online students, right? They're there overnight. So they have more time to commune amongst each other and get to know their RAs and et cetera, and participate in different activities. But otherwise, academically, the experience is pretty much the same, right? They're taking the same classes. They also get to engage with their instructors and with their peers. And the day students and online students, as well as the residential students, all have the opportunity to participate in activities similar to what Anita was talking about prior to their classes, during that midday break, and then again right after their classes.
Cool. So as you guys were saying, obviously, if they decide to enroll for this summer, the program will be held online, right? But if they decide to go next year, for example, then you guys will be back on campus.
Yep, exactly.
Cool. All right. What would you like? What recommendations would you give like to people when choosing like, should I enroll right away? Should I go through the whole virtual experience as well? Should I wait for next year?
Sure. I think that it'll depend on their preferences, where they're at in the world, and where they're at in their studies. If someone is meant to start college next year and they're a little bit pressed to figure out what it is that they want to study, or if they just need an activity to do this summer, or they want a recommendation letter or something like that, then I would encourage them to participate as soon as possible, right? If someone is earlier in their high school career and they really want to know what it's like to be in New York City or to be on campus and to physically interact with their peers, then waiting might be a better option for them.
Absolutely, loud and clear. And oh, by the way, this is just a question that came up right now from Beatriz Freitas from Brazil, perhaps. She's asking, I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer this. If not, we can pass on and leave it to the end to Anita and maybe Laura. But she's asking if she's also allowed to apply now already for the next year. If she wants to enroll next year, can she apply?
The application for next year will be opening in the fall.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. Yeah, okay, so carry on. So thanks for sending your question, Beatriz. So fall, by the way, guys, fall for those living in the US means after July. It's September, October, more or less, November. So it's different from ours. We're having our fall right now in Brazil, where probably Beatriz is from.
Sorry.
But that's okay. All right. So moving on. Okay. So I think the question was already here. How do you balance the in-class and all the extra activities that are offered?
Yeah. So it's really up to the student, right, to know what their limits are. Similar to what Carrie was saying before, every student will have about an hour to 2 hours of homework, depending on the course that they're participating in. And it's up to them from there to decide, like, hey, can I participate in 3 or 4 different activities on top of the seminars and the homework and all these other things, So I would say it's not difficult to balance it. You just really need to know yourself, and you need to have a priority order in terms of like what you need to complete and when you need to complete it by.
Cool. All right. And moving on, what types of activities do students participate in? Can you say like some examples of what is expecting them?
Yeah, so I definitely have more experience with the residential students than the others. But residential students, I remember, used to go to Broadway plays or concerts or different poetry nights. That would be like off campus. And then on campus during lunch breaks, they would have different community service activities where they would be collecting materials or preparing packages to hand out to folks, or poetry nights and like writing activities. There are so many different things. Basically anything that you can think of, even if the program doesn't plan it for you, you can make it happen just by bringing it up to a representative of the program.
Oh, I missed Broadway plays. Yeah. What's your favorite one, by the way?
Anastasia was probably my favorite. I cried.
I'll have to go with The Lion King, I think. Yeah,
that's a good one too.
That was a good one. Okie dokie. Moving on. Again, we have lots of questions coming up. Someone from New Brunswick, Canada, Roshan Jawad. Sorry, guys, I'm really bad at pronouncing the name. So if I'm not pronouncing properly, please forgive me. But he's saying that he's an international student in the 11th grade at St. John High School. What opportunities do you offer for students like me? I think would be like all the programs would be also included to Canadian students as well, right?
Yep.
All right, cool. So you heard her, Roshan. You can go. You can apply. All right. So moving on. Let me see the next question here. So this is actually similar to what we were talking about. I think maybe you already answered this, but the next question would be if the students are able to explore New York City as well on their own. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Residential students are able to explore the city on their own with their friends, with commuter students. The only restriction really is that they should be checking in with their residential advisor. And the reason for that is we just want to know that folks are okay. You know, like, it's fine. We want you to have fun. We want you to explore. But especially as a visitor, as someone who's not from the city, we want to make sure that you aren't lost, or that nothing happens to you. So it's just to make sure that someone's keeping tabs on you. And then, of course, there's a curfew, so you can't be out all night partying it up. I know it's New York City and the city doesn't sleep, but you have to.
The city doesn't, but you have to. Actually, this is very interesting because the people might see these activities as just all the fun side of it, but actually they play an important role in the development of the students itself, right? Can you tell a little bit, what's your view on that?
Sure. So these activities really help shape you as a person. They help you really figure out who you are outside of the home that you live in with your parents, who you are outside of your high school classroom, what your interests are, as an individual, what it is that you like. I think that experiences like this one might be the first time for many people where someone else isn't making a decision for them, so I think it's a real opportunity for growth. And in terms of preparing you for college, it goes back to time management. You have to manage your time for your own. You don't have your parents telling you, hey, now you have to go do your homework from 6 to 8 p.m. You have to figure that out for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. Because usually, guys, most of you maybe that are joining us here now, you probably went to the high school in your hometown and the city that you spent your whole life there. So this would be a truly challenging experience to go live in another country. Yes, you would get all the support from Colombia for sure, but still, as Naima was saying, it would be a great chance for you to start like dealing with things that you never had to deal before, and that part of thing, that those small issues, those even like the daily problems that you have to face being away in a different country, those kind of situations help you grow a lot, right? And so yeah, I completely agree with that. And okay, so bring it on. That would be for going back to the campus, right? But if we bring today for this year, that it's still on the online environment, are students really able to connect with each other, or what is Colombia doing to help encourage this kind of connection between people that are joining the program virtually from many different sides of the globe?
Yeah, so outside of the classroom, right? So in the classroom, you have your instructor that's facilitating the interactions and facilitating different conversations. Outside of the classroom, you have extracurricular and co-curricular activities, which are really an opportunity for you to not only grow in your own interests, but to get to know and connect with other folks from all over the world, right? In all different backgrounds. You get to share ideas with them. You get to hear about their ideas and their experiences from wherever they're from. And then those are facilitated by the online course coordinators. So that conversation is really being facilitated by Columbia and by the program.
Excellent. Cool. That was great. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Naima, for joining us today and sharing a little bit about the student life, right? This side of the experience, which is a very important side as well. So let me bring now today, I'll say thank you for joining us. And let me bring in your colleague, Laura, who will be able to carry on this interview. Thanks so much, Naima. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, Carlos.
Bye. Laura, come on board. Hey there, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
So far, so great. So far, so great. Just looking back in time and seeing, oh boy, if I had this opportunity.
Right,
yeah.
me too.
Okay, so yeah, so as I asked the other folks that join us, your colleagues here, can you tell us a little bit about your role at Columbia University?
Yep. So my name is Laura Fields. I am a senior admissions specialist for the pre-college program. So I've been here for about 3 years now, and I oversee the admissions and application process for the program, which I know there have been a lot of questions about in this chat. So I'm excited to be able to talk to you all about that today. Yeah.
Lots of questions. You're based in New York as well, right?
I'm also in Brooklyn. Yep, in New York.
Oh, mine. Okay, very well. Okay, guys. So yeah, so let me before we jump into the questions that are coming up nonstop from the chat. Let me ask you some things first. What is it? Now let's dive into the application, the admission process, right? Which is the more technical part of all this. But just a quick note, guys, that you're watching us. We already cover the different programs at Columbia University. Obviously, we don't have like lots of time, so it was more an overview, but hopefully you were able to get the idea. We talked then about the student life, which is a different aspect, right? But equally important of what's going to be your experience at Columbia. And now we're going to dive into this more technical part, which is about how you can apply and all that, right? But I would like to remind you all that Columbia University will join the Student World Global University Fair that is taking place on Thursday. Most of you are already registered here because you got this email about this live because you registered. So you're good. So you're gonna have lots of time to talk to each of the Laura's colleagues that were here. They will be also at the fair on Thursday. If you haven't registered yet, please hurry, save your spot now. Well, not actually now. You can wait until the live is over and you can register. This is the link here. It's global.thestudent.world. If you click there, there'll be a button to register free. You don't need to pay anything. And yeah, you register free. You're gonna get the password and everything, and so you can join this global this virtual fair in which Columbia will take part as well on a Thursday. And then you're gonna be able to talk to them about your particular cases, ask them lots of questions, and so on. Okay, but going back to you, Laura, let's dive into this technical part. What is the admissions team looking for in applicants? That might be a good place to start.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know I've seen some questions in the chat about like grade eligibility and whether or not being younger or older factors in. Ultimately, we are looking for students that are going into grades 9 through 12 for the summer, or will currently be in grades 9 through 12 for the academic year. And we want to make sure that students have the necessary academic background and the ability and motivation and maturity necessary to be successful in our programs. And so we don't have a GPA cutoff. We do not ask for standardized test scores of any kind. We don't ask for TOEFL scores or IELTS scores. We review our applications holistically, which means that we are taking into account everything that you tell us on your application, not just your numbers, and making sure that you're a good fit for this type of program. If you have questions about the specific application requirements, please join our fair on Thursday or go to our website, which we'll give you again at the end of this session. But overall, we're going to be looking at all of your application materials, which are your transcripts, your recommendation, and your writing samples. And doing a holistic review to make sure that you're prepared to succeed in your course, you're prepared to engage in discussions and do projects with other academically advanced high school students from all over the world, and you're ready to push yourself to just take advantage of these opportunities that are put in front of you in your courses, outside of your courses, and that you're prepared to engage with students from all across the world. So we'll look at your transcripts, we'll look at a recommendation, and we'll look at a writing sample. And we will look at all that together to make sure that you will be successful in this, because it's a lot of hours, right? 20 hours for a course, 60 hours for a course. That's a lot of time to spend if we think that it's going to be a program where you're not going to have a good time and you're not going to be happy. So we want to make sure that you are prepared to succeed in this course.
Absolutely. You heard her, guys. Now, how long does it take to get to a decision on the application itself? Because people, once they apply, how long will they have to wait?
Yeah, so in our busiest times, it can take 3 to 5 weeks from the time that your application is submitted. But generally, we strive for about 2 weeks from the time that your application is submitted and the time that your application is complete to get a decision. So by complete, I mean that all of your materials are submitted, right? So we have your recommendations, the transcript you submitted is in the correct format for us to review you for admission. So my biggest piece of advice is, if you are interested in applying, to apply as early as you can so that we're able to review your application as soon as we can. And also to read the instructions on our website carefully about what you are required to submit with your application so that we don't have to reach out and get more material. So apply early, read the instructions, and you should get an application within 2 to 3 weeks.
Cool. All right. And okay, so we have someone else asking a question here. Her name is Kenya. She's saying that she already finished high school last year. Can she apply?
So unfortunately, not for our immersion programs. Something that we haven't talked about today, but that we also offer for pre-college is something called the College Edge program. And that's an opportunity for students who are in 11th or 12th grade or who have already graduated college to actually earn academic credit at Columbia University by taking Columbia University courses, not our pre-college courses. So we haven't really had the opportunity to talk about that today, but you're welcome to either come to our website or visit our booth on Thursday to learn more about that opportunity.
Cool. So Kenya, if you haven't registered yet, you can register here. I'm going to ask my colleagues to put the link back again for the event on Thursday. They will have a virtual booth there, and you'll be able to ask questions about these other programs that will be a fit for you. Okay, let's keep going for more questions that are coming up. Okay, I think one of the most important questions, it might be this one. And I think something that many will probably be asking themselves right now: will this program help them get into Columbia in the future if they decide to pursue their bachelor's there?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and it's one of the questions. You're absolutely right. We get it from students all the time. So I will start by saying that we are not, the Columbia Pre-College Office is not affiliated with Columbia University Office of Undergraduate Admissions in any way. So if you apply to this program and enroll in this program, Columbia Undergraduate Admissions will only know if you did this program if you choose to report that on your college applications. That also means that if you apply to this program and you didn't get into this program, they would never know that, right? So it cannot hurt to apply. The way that this benefits your application for Columbia, though, is first of all, it shows that you are academically driven and academically exceptional, and you're choosing to spend your summers studying or your weekends studying with us. And a big part of what undergraduate admissions officers are looking at is how students spend their time outside of the classroom. So this will strengthen your college application in a big way. It also shows that you're mature, right? It shows that you're mature and pushing yourself and prepared to immerse in college level courses and college level student life and activities. So that's another thing that college admissions officers will take into account. And lastly, while we're not affiliated with Columbia University's undergraduate admissions, it can show something called demonstrated interest, which is some colleges may consider. And essentially that is what they look at, what the student has done that tells the undergraduate admissions office that if we admit the student, we think they're going to come. And so while we don't have data that tells us that the undergraduate admissions officer says, like, okay, they did the pre-college program, we think they're going to come here, they look at that and they can say, like, oh, this student has a really strong interest in coming to university, and if we admit them, there's a higher chance that they will come. So while we're not affiliated with them, it can strengthen your college application overall, not just to Columbia, but to any university.
Cool. Laura, there is another question here that is coming quite often. I think you already covered that. I might be mistaken here. But the requirements, among the requirements to apply for this program, how is the whole English proficiency?
Yep, so we don't require any sort of test score. So we're not going to ask for your TOEFL or IELTS. What we ask is that students need to be paired to engage in a fast-paced English conversation course. We do not have translators. We do not have courses with subtitles or the reading materials come in any other language. So you need to be prepared to engage in a fast-paced English course. Generally, we suggest that if you have taken the TOEFL, that you have a score of about 90 or above, is what we've generally found students will be successful in.
Cool. And another question here, and this is something that I think is one of the great things about doing this pre-college programs. Is actually that at the end you get the certificate, obviously, but you also get, like, I think a letter of is it a letter of recommendation or something similar to that from your instructor? The reason I'm asking you this is because we have a question that just came out from Kyla Vien, which is exactly that. If a student during the course is very successful, is it maybe possible to get a letter of recommendation from the teacher?
That is exactly what you get upon successful completion of the program. So all students get that, and most of our students choose to put that in their college application. So you can either upload it as a supplemental document for your college applications. You can ask your guidance counselors to quote something from the recommendation within your college applications. The one thing that we cannot do with our instructors is you cannot add them on to your common application as a formal recommender, but you will get a PDF file sent to you to your email. Your parents will get it as well, so that you have on record a letter of recommendation from your instructor.
Cool. You know what, Laura, if it's okay by you, I would like to actually, before we finish, to play a testimonial video from one of the alumni for those programs. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, guys, so let me ask my colleagues to play one of the testimonial videos so you can hear from someone who actually experienced these programs.
Hi everyone, I'm Ludovica Puglia from Rome, Italy, and right now I'm currently attending the Spring 2021 academic year immersion at Columbia University. The class that I'm taking right now is Introduction to International Relations. I wanted to share with you my experience because this course was much more than expected to be. Not only am I making many new friends from all around the world, but also because the professor that is managing this class is really good at explaining what we're doing. We're able to make discussions and to really engage entirely inside of the class.
Very nice. So that one was actually an international student, right? She was from, I didn't catch her name, but she was from Italy, I think.
Ludovica, yep, she's from Italy.
Ludovica, yeah. You want to hear another one, maybe? A quick one? What do you say, guys? Yeah? Okay, let's do it. Another one, please.
Hi.
Oops. A little bit of technical issues here. We get that a lot. Let's try again.
Hi, I'm David from the Philippines, and I took a 3-week Fundamentals of Neuroscience course at Columbia over the summer. It's a subject that has always interested me, although this was my first opportunity to study it in an academic setting. The lectures were enriched with videos, excerpts from other talks, and interactive activities. Topics were presented in ways that were easy to follow, and the afternoon small group sessions reinforced our learnings. For our final group project, we studied and presented scientific research detailing the ill effects of different kinds of trauma to children. Hopefully, we don't just stop at knowing the negative consequences of these events, but more importantly, be able to contribute to reversing them. For those who want to maximize their summer break by learning while having a great time, I'd recommend Columbia's summer program for high school students. Stay safe, everyone!
Stay safe. Very well. Nice one. This one from the Philippines. Cool. Okay, Laura. Guys, we are coming to the end, unfortunately. I wanted to ask Laura here, I wanted to thank you for joining us, you and all your colleagues. Saying from the student world, we're very happy to be welcoming you at our fair on Thursday. I'm sure that many of those over 100 people that are watching us still until now. They will be joining the event on Thursday, and they'll be able to ask more questions and hear more about these amazing opportunities offered by Columbia University. So in the name of the student world, thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you on Thursday, actually.
Thank you, Carlos. This was great. I really appreciate it. And yep, we'll see you on Thursday. I hope we see everybody there.
Cool. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Laura.
Take care.
All right, everyone. All right. So now, as I mentioned, we're coming to an end of today's live, the very first, the Student World Spotlight. And we're curious to know if you liked it, if you didn't like it, what you didn't. So feel free here to put on the chat. And also, if you liked it, guys, give us a like. It takes one click and it tells us a lot. All right, so please like this video so we can get it to more people. We can get more people to watch us, to see this great opportunity, and so on. Okay, don't forget, again, for the last time, on Thursday we are having the Student World Global University Fair that will in which Columbia University will have their own virtual booth there. You can chat live with them, ask questions, ask more about the programs they present in here, and so on. Okay, and also, if you're not following the Student World on Instagram, go there. You can turn. We just hit it 300,000 explorers today on Instagram. We're very happy about this, and yeah, follow us there. And we hope that we can help you get closer from studying abroad. So yeah, thanks so much for joining us today. It's 4 minutes to, I don't know to what, depending on where you are in the world. But again, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to host this. And we'll see you again in the Student World Spotlight next Tuesday. So join us. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. The Student World, whatever you want to study, we know how to get you there.